For a century, cars have been built on a single concept. We construct rigid steel boxes, point them forward, and send them down straight lines. And the way we command these machines hasn't really evolved either. We sit inside, yank a circular steering wheel left or right, and stomp on pedals to make the internal mechanics respond. Even as we swap combustion engines for batteries, modern automotive design usually stops at giving us a sleeker box with a larger touchscreen inside. The actual physical relationship between the vehicle and the space around it stays exactly the same. We are stuck in a purely mechanical loop with our cars. Breaking out of it requires engineering that throws away the traditional blueprint entirely. To see what that looks like, we actually have to look at a legacy automaker attempting to completely disrupt its own history. Mercedes-Benz teamed up with Hollywood world builders behind the movie Avatar to design a machine that actively mimics organic life. They call it the Vision AVTR. Curious, leaning in, this lets us see what happens when engineers stop treating a car like a cold appliance and try to build something that moves, reacts, and breathes like a living organism. Designing machines that imitate nature, a process known as biomimicry, is moving past science fiction styling. It is becoming a functional engineering strategy for the future of transportation. You can see this most clearly by looking at the rear exterior of the car. The traditional static trunk has been replaced by what designers call a bionic skin. Instead of standard brake lights, the back is covered in 33 individual reptilian-like scales. When you hit the brakes, these aerodynamic flaps physically pull back and glow red, acting like an animal raising its hackles defensively. Below the scales, the rear light arrays are programmed to pulse. As you push the accelerator and the car goes faster, the pulsation speeds up in perfect rhythm with your speed, mimicking an accelerating heartbeat. By replacing a standard piece of red plastic with moving, pulsing parts, the car turns braking and acceleration into an active, biological communication system with the surrounding environment. But building a car that communicates like an animal on the outside raises an immediate question about the inside. How exactly do you steer it? In a standard car, your hands turn a wheel, and a steering column angles front tires. In the AVTR, there is no wheel. Instead, your hand rests on a central control pad, and when you initiate a turn, the entire vehicle physically responds. The chassis itself dynamically leans and bends with your body as you enter the curve. Depending on your direction, the entire structural frame actually pivots with you. This mechanism strips away the feeling of giving a mechanical command to a separate object. You and the machine move as a single entity, creating a physical symbiosis. That freedom extends to the vehicle's limbs. The wheel hubs use glowing, light-up pedals instead of standard rims. These act as an external interface. Plug it in, and the lights pull toward the center, showing it's charging. But behind that visual display is a serious mechanical upgrade. Each of those 4 wheels contains its own completely independent motor. Because the wheels aren't locked to a single front-to-back axis, they can turn and drive in unison. This allows you to literally crab walk the car, sliding sideways at an angle without ever pointing the nose in that direction. This specific ability completely breaks the linear constraints we've been living with since the automobile's invention. It grants a heavy machine the agility and multi-directional movement of a living creature.
Obviously, you aren't going to see a car with glowing rims and mechanical scales pulling into a standard grocery store parking lot anytime soon. The AVTR is an extreme conceptual exercise. So why spend time dissecting a sci-fi prototype? Because of what it tells us about the immediate road ahead for the automotive industry. As platforms switch to electric motors and eventually autonomous driving, the physical feedback of an engine disappears. The driving experience is at risk of becoming incredibly cold, sterile, and isolated inside an empty glass box. What the AVTR proves is that advanced technology doesn't have to equal digital detachment. Pulling inspiration directly from nature creates a vastly superior, highly intuitive user experience. By applying the rules of biology to steel and circuits, designers are testing how machines can act as responsive, intelligent tools, shifting from simple transit toward technology that actively communicates and adapts to our presence.